As autumn fades and a chill settles over the UK, a familiar question returns. Will it snow this winter? From London's busy streets to the Scottish Highlands, the prospect of snow stirs both excitement and concern. Snow brings memories of magical landscapes and childhood snowmen, but also the reality of travel chaos and daily disruption. Our fascination is rooted in both culture and necessity. Snow can enchant, but it can also paralyze. Legendary winters like the Big Freeze of 1963 or 2010's heavy snows linger in our collective memory. Today, with advanced science and forecasting, we try to predict what lies ahead, but the answer is never simple. Let's explore what the science says about the winter of 2025-26, the global forces at play, and what we might expect, while remembering that nature always has the final say. Predicting tomorrow's weather is one thing. Forecasting an entire winter is another challenge entirely. Short-term forecasts rely on real-time data and computer models, but their accuracy drops quickly beyond a few days. Seasonal forecasts focus on large-scale patterns, not specific snow days. Meteorologists study global drivers like ocean temperatures, Arctic sea ice, and high-altitude winds to estimate the odds of a colder or milder season. The UK's weather is especially tricky, caught between Arctic chill and Atlantic mildness. A small shift in the jet stream can change everything. Different models weigh factors differently, leading to conflicting predictions. That's why long-range forecasts are best seen as broad guides, not guarantees. The real story of winter only unfolds as the season arrives. One major global player this winter is La Niña, a cooling of the Pacific Ocean that can shift weather patterns worldwide. This phenomenon, which occurs every few years, is the counterpart to El Niño and has far-reaching impacts on global climate. When La Niña is active, it doesn't just affect the Pacific region. Its influence ripples across continents, altering rainfall, temperature, and even the frequency of storms in places thousands of miles away. In a rare triple-dip La Niña, strong trade winds push warm water west, letting cold water surface in the east. This persistent pattern has lasted for 3 consecutive winters, making it an unusual and closely watched event. The strengthened trade winds not only cool the eastern Pacific, but also set off a chain reaction in the atmosphere, shifting weather systems and influencing jet streams far beyond the ocean itself. This can nudge the jet stream south, opening the door for Arctic air and increasing the UK's chances of cold, snowy spells, especially later in winter. When the jet stream dips, it acts like a conveyor belt, steering frigid air masses from the north straight into the British Isles. This can lead to prolonged periods of wintry weather, with snow and ice becoming more likely, particularly in the second half of the season. But this year, the signals are mixed. While some indicators point towards a classic La Niña winter, others suggest a more complicated picture. Meteorologists are seeing conflicting trends in ocean temperatures, atmospheric pressure, and wind patterns, making it difficult to pin down exactly what the coming months will bring. Some analyses suggest even a weak La Niña could bring more northerly winds and snow, especially in the north and east. These regions are typically the first to feel the effects of cold air outbreaks, and with the right conditions, could see significant snowfall and below-average temperatures. Yet, leading models like ECMWF and the Met Office predict La Niña won't dominate, with other factors keeping the UK milder. These models take into account a range of influences, from Atlantic sea surface temperatures to stratospheric winds, and currently suggest that La Niña's grip may be weaker than in previous years. The result? Uncertainty reigns, and the battle between history and models makes long-range forecasting a true challenge. Forecasters must balance past patterns with the latest data, knowing that even small changes in the Pacific can have big consequences for the UK's winter. We must weigh all the evidence before drawing conclusions. As the season unfolds, meteorologists will continue to monitor La Niña and other global drivers, piecing together the puzzle to provide the best possible outlook for the months ahead. The most trusted long-range forecasts come from the ECMWF and UK Met Office supercomputers. For winter 2025-26, both point to below-average snowfall for the UK and much of Europe. December is expected to be dominated by high pressure, stable, dry, and generally mild, with little snow. January and February continue the trend. The coldest Arctic air stays north, while milder Atlantic air prevails. The models suggest little chance for sustained cold or widespread snow, especially in lowland areas. Even March looks drier and warmer than usual. These are broad trends, not guarantees. Brief cold snaps or local snow are still possible, but a classic snowy winter seems unlikely this year. Despite what the latest weather models might suggest, there are always unpredictable elements, wildcards, that can completely overturn our expectations for the season. One of the most significant of these is the polar vortex, a phenomenon that can transform a mild winter forecast into a period of intense cold and snow almost overnight. The polar vortex is essentially a vast, swirling mass of frigid air that sits high above the North Pole, encircled by powerful winds. When the vortex is strong and stable, it acts like a barrier, keeping the coldest Arctic air locked away far to the north, well away from the UK and the rest of Europe. However, if the vortex weakens or splits apart, a process known as sudden stratospheric warming, this protective barrier can break down. When that happens, bitterly cold Arctic air can surge southward, sweeping across Europe and the UK. This is exactly what happened during the infamous Beast from the East in 2018, when the country was gripped by heavy snow, icy winds, and widespread disruption. This year, early indicators suggest the polar vortex may be weaker than usual, which increases the risk of a significant cold outbreak. Meteorologists are closely monitoring these signals, as even a small change in the vortex's strength can have major consequences for our winter weather. Adding to the potential for cold, there's been extensive snow cover building up across Siberia and the Arctic this autumn. This deep snowpack acts as a reservoir of cold air, ready to spill south if the atmospheric conditions align just right. With these factors in play, the odds of at least one significant cold spell this winter are higher than usual, particularly for northern and eastern parts of the UK. Residents in these regions should be prepared for the possibility of disruptive snow and icy conditions. The ongoing tension between what computer models predict and the unpredictable nature of these atmospheric wildcards serves as a powerful reminder. The story of winter is never fully written in advance. Surprises can and do happen. That's why it's so important to stay alert for sudden shifts in the atmosphere. Keeping an eye on forecasts and weather alerts can help us respond quickly to any changes. No matter how advanced our technology becomes, the UK's winter always has the potential to surprise us, sometimes when we least expect it. To understand what's possible, it helps to know the UK's typical snow patterns. Snow is rare in October, but chances rise in November, though early snow rarely lasts. The real snow season runs from January to early March, when cold air and the right conditions align. January and February are usually the snowiest months, with the greatest risk of disruption. March can bring heavy wet snow, sometimes more disruptive than midwinter flurries. By April, snow is mostly confined to the Scottish mountains and high hills. Every winter is different. Some bring barely any snow, others weeks of cold and whiteouts. As of early November 2025, no major cold spells are on the immediate horizon, but the prime window for snow remains January to March. Snowfall isn't spread evenly across the UK, location matters. The country's unique geography, with its rolling hills, rugged mountains, and coastal plains, means that some places are blanketed in white for weeks, while others barely see a flake. From the far north to the southernmost tip, the amount of snow you'll encounter can change dramatically in just a few miles. The further north and higher up you are, the more snow you'll see. Altitude plays a huge role. Higher ground is colder, so snow is more likely to settle and stick around. That's why the UK's most wintry scenes are often found in its upland and mountainous regions. Scotland's Highlands are the snowiest, with the Cairngorms averaging over 70 days of lying snow per year. These vast wild landscapes become a winter wonderland, attracting skiers, snowboarders, and hikers hoping for a snowy adventure. The Highlands' remote beauty is transformed each winter, with deep drifts and icy lochs. In England, upland areas like the Pennines and Lake District get much more snow than the lowlands. These regions are famous for their dramatic winter views, with snow-capped peaks and frosty valleys. The higher you go, the more likely you are to find thick snow underfoot, especially after a cold snap. Copley in County Durham sees over 50 days of snow cover annually. This small village is often at the heart of England's snowiest weather, with locals well accustomed to icy roads and snowdrifts that can linger for weeks. The southwest, especially Cornwall, often escapes snow entirely, thanks to its milder, ocean-influenced climate. Here, winter is more likely to bring rain and green fields than snowmen and sledges. Meanwhile, London and the southeast see just a handful of snow days. When snow does fall, it's often light and melts quickly, rarely causing the kind of disruption seen further north. Wales's mountains are snow magnets, with Eryri, Snowdonia, regularly transformed into a frosty landscape. The peaks here can be treacherous in winter, drawing climbers and photographers eager to capture the dramatic scenery. North Wales even holds the UK record for deepest snow, over 1.6 meters in 1947. That year, entire communities were cut off, and the snowdrifts became the stuff of local legend. Northern Ireland's highest ground gets over 20 days of snow, especially in the Mourne Mountains, where winter brings a quiet, icy beauty to the landscape. But along the coasts, snow is rare. Mild sea air keeps temperatures up, so most winters are wet rather than white. This geographical lottery means a snowstorm for one region can be just rain for another. The UK's weather is famously unpredictable, and snow can fall heavily in one place while the sun shines just a few miles away. That's why local forecasts are essential for knowing what to expect. Whether you're hoping for a snow day or planning to travel, it pays to check the latest updates before heading out. Beyond this winter, the bigger story is climate change. UK temperatures have risen by about 1.3 degrees Celsius since pre-industrial times, making winters warmer and wetter. More winter precipitation now falls as rain, not snow, especially in the south and at lower altitudes. The number of days with lying snow has dropped sharply since the 1960s and 70s. Even the Sphinx snow patch in the Cairngorms, once nearly permanent, now melts away most summers. Still, a warming climate doesn't rule out severe cold or snow. 2010's frigid winter happened despite the trend. Weather remains variable, and rare cold snaps are still possible, but the baseline is shifting. Classic snowy winters are becoming less common. The UK's snowy past is fading, but surprises can still happen. As winter 2025 approaches, the models suggest a milder, less snowy season for most of the UK. But wild cards, La Niña, Arctic snow buildup, and a potentially weak polar vortex mean surprises are possible. The odds favor mild weather, but a classic cold snap can't be ruled out. Seasonal forecasts are about probabilities, not certainties. The real key is to stay informed. Check short-term local forecasts from the Met Office or BBC for the latest updates. The difference between rain and snow can hinge on a single degree. Whether we get gentle dustings or deep drifts, being prepared is the wisest approach. Winter in the UK always keeps us guessing, so stay ready for whatever comes.